Today we're going to look at a new drone from Ruko. This is the F11 Pro 2. It's about 360 gram 4K 3-axis mechanical stabilized gimbal. This one's a little larger. It does require FAA and NAV Canada certification or licensing, and you need your pilot's license in Canada, your drone operator's license in Canada. We're going to take this one up and see how it looks. Check it out. I have here the new Ruko F11 Pro 2 4K drone. We're going to take this one up and take some pictures with it. Here's our features. It's got a 3-axis brushless gimbal camera, 4K at 30 frames per second. It's a long range of image transmission, super long flight time. There's the claim. So let's open the box up and see what's in the package. Here's a controller. Phone goes in here and it connects by a cable. It's got a USB-C cable on it right now, and there will be other cables for other phone types. Charge ports on the side to charge up the controller, and this port is for video for the phone. Inside the package comes with charging cables and replacement blades, and another set of joystick knobs if you lose them. Also comes with 2 batteries. We're going to charge these up obviously before I attempt to fly the unit, so let's get the batteries unpacked. They all charge with USB-C. I'll charge the batteries up. So the batteries go into the drone. They just slip into the back. They go in just like this. Snap in. The arms fold out. And there is the drone itself. This is going to be over 250 grams. Where's the SD card go on this? It goes in on the side probably, yeah. SD card goes in there. 32 to 128 gigabytes micro SD card. And the camera pops open like that. It's a 3-axis gimbal. As you can see, there's the gimbal for the camera. Turns side to side, tilts, and up and down. It also comes with 3 data cables with different types of connectors on them. So you've got your lightning connector, and it probably has a micro USB. So USB-C to micro USB, USB-C to Apple's lightning connector. I don't need that because my phone has USB-C. And of course it gives you some of the settings. When you first get it, it's in beginner mode. You have to turn it off with the app so you can fly over and fly greater than 98 feet. When it's in beginner mode, it keeps it in close so that you don't fly your drone away and never see it again. We've all done that. I had that happen to me. I had one up, and unfortunately the wind got a little too strong and it carried it away, and I couldn't fly it back because the wind was stronger than the speed that it was able to go, and because the battery, I guess, was getting a bit weak, it ended up going into a tree. We'll try not to do that again. It just gives you the template that goes over so you can know what the controls do, right? So record video. Number 4 here is to long press key for like long press for 1 key takeoff, 1 key landing, control the joystick, short press to activate it, cruise control. So that's the controller. Let's just look at the specs on this. For these larger drones, anything over 250 grams, you do require your drone operator's certificate, which I have, but just warning people, you need to get that from the FAA or from NAV Canada before you can legally fly these units that are larger than 250 grams. Sticker on the side, that's your FAA ID module you do require to register these ones. And there is a built-in remote ID module that transmits the drone's location. It also transmits your location to the phone and vice versa. And the phone transmits its location to the drone. What this means is that if you are flying in restricted airspace, they will know who you are and where you are located as the pilot. Because the controller will transmit your location to the drone, which squawks it out through its own transmitter, and it can be received on the ground for a very wide area because you're up there a couple hundred feet. So it's acting like a repeater. So if you're in areas that you're not supposed to be, well, they'll know where you are, where you're flying, and where you are as the pilot. So here's our specifications. It's 357 grams. So it's not the heaviest one that I've got. I've got some 600 gram units. But this is over the 249 gram limit, which requires registration. As I mentioned before, you do have to register it, and in Canada you have to take a test. Costs, I think it's $10 to take the test, and you have to register the units, which is like, I think it's $5 to register it. But you got to take your test and pass the test before you can register these ones. Just going over the controls here. They're all pretty standard, so I don't think I really need to go over this too much. They operate on the 5.8 gigahertz band. And of course, it says don't fly over near crowds. That's a no-brainer, because if something were to happen and it were to fall out of the sky, that would hurt if you got hit with this. Looking through the specifications, it uses a 3200 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery, 7.7 volts, has 24.6 watt hours of energy. Battery itself weighs 126 grams. Charging time about 2.5 hours using PD fast charging, but it does not say the flight time on here, so we don't know. We'll find out, I guess, when I get it in the air. First things first, so I'm going to charge up both the controller and the batteries, and then we'll get the unit prepped. And as soon as the weather breaks, because right now the weather's not been good this morning, to get the batteries charged, and we'll see how this one works out and see what type of pictures it turns out. I think it's going to be pretty good. They're all getting really good these days. So basically, the big features on some drones is that they have collision avoidance. This one does not. So in other words, you have to basically keep it in sight, or at least keep it above the tree line, because otherwise you could end up flying into things. And it's not recommended to fly backwards or side to side unless you can actually visually see it anyway. When you're flying forward, you can see what's ahead of you, right? So, but yeah, keep that in mind. This one does not have any type of collision avoidance, like most of the inexpensive drones.